Happy Sunday. Today is November 22nd, but I guess the date doesn't matter when it comes down to the contents of this video. So this video is going to be about something that I'm calling the ugly duckling syndrome. And the reason why I am deciding to post this video on that is because I have been encouraged to tell my story by far too many people for quite some time. And I'll say within this year alone, I can't even count how many people have suggested that I do it. That and the fact that I kind of feel like I've reached a stage in my life where I'm comfortable enough to share while also knowing that I'm still in the growing phase myself. So personal growth is something that I truly wholeheartedly believe that I'll never be done with. And yet it's this beautiful ride as I make milestones along the way. So this video is going to be on the ugly duckling journey that I had to overcome. All right, so let me kind of give a little bit disclaimer on the hood style of the video. So first of all, folks, I am currently making this video leaning over my couch because I have to use the lighting of the lamp. And the reason why I'm using the lighting of the lamp is because my light bulb blew out. And I'm embarrassed because I asked the super to come fix it already this week. But because I gave him these bulbs that were in my house probably for like 4 or 5 years now, I didn't realize that bulbs have like a shelf life. And I learned the hard way because as soon as he put them in that evening, I flicked on the light and it was gone. So now I'm kind of nervous to call him back to fix the same thing. And I didn't go to the store to buy any new bulbs either. So work with me, people. Anyway, I hope that doesn't take away from the message in this video. So the ugly duckling syndrome. So growing up, I was told that I was the ugly one. This video is not to bash any of my family members, because the truth of the matter is that hurt people, you know the saying, hurt people hurt people. The purpose of me doing this video is to hopefully help someone heal themselves so that way when they continue on in their journey and they're raising their offspring, that we stop our cycles because we've recognized what they are and we've done the work to heal them. I am 38 years of age. I am an 80s baby, early 80s. So you can only imagine what we were dealing with in those times while people are trying to raise kids. I have been raised by a couple of different family members. So I've also bounced around. So you have a sense of the kind of impact that growing up in the 80s has had on me and those who have tried to raise me. Because I'm doing this kind of healing series for others and myself, I'll probably more than likely get to that story somewhere at some point. This one is all about my looks. So I was told that I was the ugly one. I was the darkest of my siblings, my sisters, who I was raised with, because I have some brothers as well, but that's a whole different story. I wasn't raised with them. Still got love for them now. So I was the darkest of my sisters. I have the biggest lips and the biggest nose. And so hearing that from young, I didn't realize the impact that it had on me until maybe about 2 to 3 years ago. Hearing that as a child and continuing to hear it, and then you growing up and you kind of making your own stories out of that, and you living in your own spaces with that in the back of your mind, it does something to us that we don't acknowledge. My lack of self-esteem around my looks, around my facial features, really caused me to accept a lot of things that I didn't need to accept, caused me to present in such a way that I didn't need to present, and caused me to, like, my insecurities were walking into spaces before I was, and it made me susceptible to a lot of things that I didn't have to deal with. And it was because I didn't do the work to acknowledge that it was having a major impact, and then to do the work to heal from it. So in terms of realizing that it was making an impact, I said it wasn't until about 2 or 3 years ago. So let me tell you what happened then. 3 years ago, 2017, rough ass year, y'all, like a freaking rough ass year. Depression was my comfort blanket in 2017. And while it was rough, it was also one of the best years of my life, because it was the year that I broke the fuck down. And when I say I broke down, I'm not just talking about the crying and struggling to get out of bed. Yeah, I had all that, y'all. I'm talking about I wanted to understand myself on a deeper level, because I wanted to heal. And I knew I wanted to leave the hurt and the pains and different things that I was dealing with there. And so I started to pray. I recognized how spiritually connected I had been my entire life. And when I recognized that while I may have felt alone, that spiritually I was never alone, that then gave me what I needed to start doing this work. And the focus, the work that I'm focusing on right now, of course, is the way that I looked at myself, my facial features. So I realized that because I thought of myself as ugly, I allowed a lot of different things into my spaces that didn't need to be. So I said, okay, I want to work on it. So I started trying to put on makeup and smile more and do different things. And I'm like, that's helping me. I'm feeling a little bit better. I can look at people at a glance in their eye here and there, but it needs to get a little bit more better. I need to do better, rather. So fast forward to 2018, when things started to turn for the positive in my life, I was able to get a therapist. And I'll make a video on how I found my therapist too, because I did some work. And this was like a whole interview process. I'm serious about my mental health, so I needed to make sure that my therapist was going to be on it. So I got into therapy, and so I'm telling her, I think I'm ugly. I need to work on this. And y'all, I'm saying this bluntly right here on this video, but I did not go into therapy and tell her I think I'm ugly. That would have been bold me. I would have been proud of myself if I was able to say that. No, I hemmed and hummed around it, and she's like, okay, so you have some image issues or something like that. I don't know. She said it in some kind of nice clinical way. It was cute. But anyway, so she heard me and she gave me this activity, basically looking in the mirror. She's like, look in the mirror and give yourself affirmations. So I'm like, I'm smart. I'm determined. This is easy. Bullshit. Y'all, listen, looking in the mirror by myself, I live alone, y'all. By myself in this house by myself, telling myself that I was something other than the ugly duckling that I thought I was hard as hell. Even if I was able to say it, I realized that I'm not even looking myself in the eye in the mirror. I don't feel this. Fast forward a couple of months, because that went south. I couldn't do it. Fast forward a couple of months. I'm like, you know what? It hit me one day. And remember, I'm still in therapy every other week, and I'm praying every darn day, multiple times a day about a bunch of stuff. So my growth journey is like a bunch of little fires happening all at once that are spreading and connecting and weaving themselves into this beautiful masterpiece that I am right now. And that's not a vanity thing. That's I put in the motherfucking work type thing. So the fire is spreading about my looks, and what was happening with the fire at the time was that I realized that I come from a family who had their own work to do. And they were raising me with the tools that they had. They were raising me from a place of pain. They were doing things from a place of hurt and resentment, and yet their heart and intent, are not necessarily reflective of the ways that I was raised. So I had to do two things. I had to accept that I was raised by people who themselves were also broken, not that they were mean, evil-spirited people. And I had to accept that I need to forgive myself for letting their words seep so deep into my mind that 3 decades later, I'm still dealing with the crap. Like, I had to accept all of it. And then after I accepted it, I had to pray hard, and I had to pray again and again. And if you hear me saying I had to pray again, it's because the prayer wasn't working the first time or the second time, or so I thought. It took multiple times for me to realize that after I acknowledge it, that I also need to forgive myself and prepare a plan to move forward. And so I'm in therapy, and this is maybe about 6 months in, after I was given a challenge about 4 months ago. I go back and I say, all right, let's try this mirror challenge again. And she modified it for me. And she said, well, you know what? Go ahead and give affirmations to parts of your face. Talk about your forehead, talk about your eyebrows, and work all the way down till you reach your chin. Now, this is after me coming to a place where I realized I was raised by broken people, and it's not their fault. It came from a place of me accepting that it wasn't my fault that I held on to this for that long. I just didn't know. And now I'm about to do this challenge again. Yep, didn't work out. Still was struggling. It was hard. And I'm saying this to you guys all to say that we are going to struggle. Don't give up. You're going to make some progress in your life, and you're going to feel like, yo, I'm here. I arrived. And then when you try to test that sucker out, that bitch going to be like, yeah, you thought. So I didn't give up. And the way that I reached a point to where I'm making this barefaced video, my edges are not slicked, my hair is not retwisted, I have zero makeup on, y'all see all my, me, is because through the prayer, through my therapy sessions, and also through my personal coaching, because not only am I a coach for others, but let's be clear, I coach myself every damn day. So through all of those different personal works that I was doing, one day I'm in the mirror and I just look at myself and I'm like, oh shoot, I have this little mole thing above my eye that y'all probably can't see. And I'm like, oh, that's really cute. And then I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm really pretty. And then I started to say, not only am I pretty, but I have this really simple kind of just this effortless kind of look to me. And I'm like, oh shoot, that's my beauty. I fell in love with my eyes and my nose and my lips and my smile. I fell in love with different parts of me. And it felt like overnight until I stepped back and I said, yo, this has been 30 plus years in the making. And I reached this journey just a year ago. In 2019, at 37 years of age. And I'm here to tell you guys, do that work on you from the inside out, because the end result is you can't put a price on the feeling. And once you own it, can't nobody take it from you. There is no story that someone can tell you that can undo what you know true from the inside out. I know how my journey was formed. I know how and why I'm here, and I'm here. And my hope is that you will be too. So I'll be talking to y'all again soon.